Wayne District Jazz Festival, but tonight actually we're very, very lucky that this is even more than just the Wayne District Jazz Festival. It's kind of the Wayne Town Jazz Festival. As I said in one of the program notes tonight, the students will be able to share their love for this kind of music. Students who are 11-year-old to quite a bit older than that will be excited to hear the sounds, support each other, and generally recognize how great some of the programs we have in this town are. So we'll start it right off to keep things on time. We'd like to welcome to the stage the Anthony Wayne Middle School Jazz Ensemble under the direction of Miss Jeanette Crinis.
Our first song was Fat Cat, as you can tell. If I give him another hand, thank you very much. A little short for the mic. The next song that we're going to play is 1, 2, Ready, Swing, which features two of our musicians, Jonah Zhang on alto sax and William Duncan on trumpet. Our last piece for you is probably one a lot of you know, 25 or 6 to 4. It also again features Jonah Zhang on alto sax and William Duncan on trumpet. And I do want to mention that one of our excellent musicians is accidentally left out of the program, and that's Andrew Hong on the clarinet. So please give him a hand.
Thank you very much. One more hand, please. Anthony Wayne for starting it off so nicely with us tonight. Great job, guys. Thank you very much. If you could give us just a few seconds, we'll be back with the jazz ensemble from Schuyler Colfax. And now, ladies and gentlemen, continuing with our schedule, we'd like to welcome to the stage the Schuyler Colfax Jazz Ensemble under the direction of Mr. Chris DeWild.
Thank you. That was a tune called Easy Cookin' by Roger Pemberton. Soloist quick on tenor sax, Eddie Essie. And back there on trumpet, Dennis Lee. We have one addition to our program. Instead of Oye Como Va next, we're going to be throwing in a tune called What a Wonderful World. We'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight and spending the evening with us. We're going to close with a tune called Oye Como Va. Soloist, alto sax, Kristen Ashoni. Also on alto, Taylor Adams. Trumpet, Greg Zuber. Trumpet, Josh Mordkoff.
Thank you very much. Just give us a few seconds and we'll be back with the Jazz Ensemble from George Washington. One of the great things that I think I'd encourage you to look around and see tonight is not only the students performing up here, but how they take their seat in the audience and support each other. And you know, this is something across our town that's a great chance for us all to see our students working together on music they love. Just want to make a quick commercial while we're setting up the next band. Next Wednesday night, April 11th at 7 o'clock, we're doing something in Wayne for the first time. We're calling it the Wayne Evening with the Arts. And it's kind of, if you've ever been to a first night on New Year's Eve, we're setting up between our art students and our music students some small performances, demonstrations, even a few lecture-oriented ideas that'll be about 15 minutes long each. And after 15 minutes, you have an opportunity to move and sample something out, almost like an arts buffet. It's free to the public. We just love to see anybody who'd like to come out and witness some of the great things that both the art and our music students are doing. And it'd be a great opportunity, maybe if you come to see your child do something, to see a bunch of other things without investing a great deal of time. We hope that this will be a real eye-opening experience for the community. We'll be back in just a second with George Washington.
Thank you very much. That was Time Out. Our next tune is a piece by Howard Rowe called Run With It. It's going to feature three people, three soloists tonight. We have Just Massagey on alto sax. No? Next one. Who's playing? Yusuf is playing solo tonight. Yusuf, stand up. Yeah, Yusuf. There you go. Yusuf on tenor sax. Teresa O, that's right, on clarinet. Teresa O is going to play solo for this one. And Joel Carcevar on alto sax. popular tune in the 70s by the Edgar Winter Group. This is Frankenstein. This time, yes, is going to feature Jessica Massagey on alto sax and Stephen Zerbe on trumpet. Krista Wild and Keith Warfield for being a part of this night with us. We are so glad to be here and honored. So thank you very much for all of us. And our last tune is Night Train.
please, for the George Washington Middle School Jazz Band. Nice job, folks. Give us just a couple seconds. We'll get reset and we'll be on stage with the Wayne Valley Jazz Ensemble. Welcome back. This is, if you think about this, this is better than a New York club. There's no cover charge and we don't close so late. We're now back. Please welcome to the stage the Wayne Valley Jazz Ensemble under the direction of Mr. Keith Warfield.
The first piece we'd like to play for you tonight is One More Time, Chuck Corea. That was David Levy on trumpet. The next piece we'd like to play for you is After the Love Has Gone, featuring Christine Ganella on alto. We also had Chris Hirsch on trumpet. The last piece we'd like to perform for you is Brick House. once again, Chris Hirsch on trumpet, Christine Ganella on saxophone, Max O on trombone, and I know you saw a few of our guys sneak in here late. They had a game today, so. And also Dan Glasshauser on piano.
I hope the waiters have been around to your tables. If you want to leave tips, please leave them in the office across the hall. We'd like to welcome back to the stage now the Wayne Hills Jazz Ensemble. It's under the direction of yours truly. Thank you. And I'd like to tell just a quick little story. You'll notice that we're playing one of the same tunes that GW was playing, and I talked to Mr. Vigiletti about it. We were fine with it because we know that maybe our interpretations of it would be a little bit different. You know, Mr. Vigiletti is a very calm man, and most of you know that I'm even calmer. So you might expect our interpretations just to be a little bit different, and that's one of the cool things we get to see tonight is people take the same piece and do something just a little bit different with it. So you can expect ours to reflect a little bit more of my very calm and reserved personality. Should I put? Mendoza on the alto sax. Omar on the trumpet. Josh Rosen on the guitar. Alex Kuba on the drums. Alex Krug on the drums, Steve Mendoza on the alto saxophone, Omar on the trumpet, and Josh on the guitar. And they are available for children's parties. We'd like to complete change of style. One of the things we like to do is try to sample from all the different styles of music that represents the huge umbrella of jazz. This is one of my personal favorites from when I was growing up. I don't originally know it. Thank you very much. It's called Leapfrog. It was made famous by Les Brown in the swing era. Different type of playing, features Chrissy Barbera on the tenor. Chrissy Barbera on the tenor saxophone. Hi, guitar, just watching. Our next tune is actually one of a very, very famous jazz selection. It's called Little Darling, made famous by Neil Hefti and Count Basie. And one of the things that I just found out seconds ago, talking to Dr. Dempsey, which is another great reason to do something like this, is that Count Basie originally had this in mind as a medium up-tempo swing tune. And the first time he heard it, said, "Now, I want it here." And it's been played that way ever since. This features Emerson Lee on alto saxophone and Chris Alvarez on flugelhorn, and Elaine Markovich on piano. that doesn't make you want to dance. And by the way, Emerson and Chris are available for dances afterwards if you'd like. As we're getting set, again, we're the last of the Wayne school groups tonight. Then we'll clear the stage real quickly, set up. Hi, Allison. How are you? That's my daughter. She plays piano, by the way. And my son plays trumpet, so that's good. Our very special guest, the William Patterson Band, will be on. Mr. Clark Terry will be with them. And then our finale at the end is one of the most special things we do all night. We're really looking forward to that. So we'd like to close tonight with a tune that we've grown close to. Everybody nowadays says attitude is a bad thing, and we think just a little attitude is a good thing. This is Attitude Dance. Features a whole bunch of different people that we'll call out.
Nelson Graham, Greg Graziano on the What It Gonna Be Like. Thank you very much. Give us a few minutes to be back with William Patterson. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Okay. A lot of people don't know that we have probably one of the, if not the world's finest jazz program right down the road at William Patterson University. One of the leaders of that program is Dr. David Dempsey, who's been a great friend to many of the programs in Wayne. Himself, some colleagues, spent a lot of time this year teaching our jazz bands over the years, has come in for free many times to teach us. And tonight, when I called him, he was very enthusiastic to not only be the program down the road, but to come in and play Meet the Neighbors. So I'd like to turn the program over to our very, very special guest. Thank him for coming, Dr. David Dempsey and the William Patterson University Jazz Band.
Hi, there we go. I knew there was a trick to this. What Mr. Paterno did not mention is that I'm also up until last May, was a Wayne Hills band parent. Our daughter, Laura, just graduated. So I've sat out there many nights. But I've never performed on this stage, so this is a great situation for me, and thank you to Mr. Paterno and all the Wayne band directors for inviting us. It's great to be here and to let you know that, yes, there are 6 hard-working jazz bands in Wayne, not just the 5 that you've heard so far. And so this is a sort of a Meet the Neighbors session here. And we have also brought along a very special, even legendary guest for you, or for you to meet. So we'll meet him in a second. First, we would like to play an arrangement of a great jazz classic written by Thad Jones, who is the founding director of our program. He has played with Count Basie, then co-led with Mel Lewis, a wonderful big band that Thad passed away in 1986. But that big band still plays every Monday night now in its 41st year at the Village Vanguard Jazz Club in New York City. That's a great deal of parking tickets, ladies and gentlemen. 41 years of playing every Monday night. So we would like to play this piece by our founding director. We have Thad's archive on campus, the pencil scores of these pieces. So we'd like to play one of those pieces that's in the archive. This is Thad Jones' version of All of Me, All of Me. And on this, we will hear from, we have actually 25 U.S. states and 10 foreign countries represented in the jazz program, and as we like to say, several people that we think may be from other solar systems as well, but that's another whole discussion. So we won't go there this evening. We will hear from the great state of Washington, Northwest, Mr. Jordan Piper on piano on this. And we will hear from a young man who just finished his senior graduation recital. He was 24 hours ago. This moment he was on stage doing a great job from Santiago, Chile, Claudio Rubio on tenor saxophone. So here we go. All of Me, Thad Jones, All of Me. Thank you very much. It's going to take me the entire set to figure this microphone out, I can tell. Well, jazz is all about lineage. You know, it's an art form that's passed down from generation to generation. And we have a number of very well-known faculty at William Patterson who are there as regular resident faculty, most notably my partner in crime and leading the program, a great pianist, Mulgrew Miller. But we have been especially blessed for the last 3 years that in 2004, 5, I think it was, the great trumpeter, flugelhornist, and really one of the founders of jazz education, Clark Terry, chose us to be the site of his archive. He, in his career, well, you can see his career in the concert program. He's one of the few people, really, in the history of the music to have played with both Count Basie and Duke Ellington for significant amounts of time, which, if you're not a jazz fan, it's the equivalent of saying that somebody was best friends with both Lincoln and Washington. It goes all the way back to the roots of this music. So to have that lineage here, and oh, by the way, you should all know, all the students in the jazz bands here, which, by the way, you sounded great. It was really great to hear you. Give yourselves a hand. It was really wonderful. We all enjoyed. These are all people who are studying jazz for a living. They're in school studying jazz, and it was great for them to see that part of the lineage and younger musicians who are so gifted and dedicated. You should know that if it weren't for Clark Terry and just a few other people like Billy Taylor, etc., there would be no jazz band or jazz program at William Patterson University. Wayne Hills and Valley High School would not have jazz programs. There wouldn't be any such thing as jazz education, because 25 years ago, studying jazz, it was like studying drinking, you know? It really, I mean, it was. If you're majoring in jazz in school, it's like, yes, I'm minoring in addiction, you know? It had all the wrong connotations. And now we have people who Clark mentored, like Mr. Wynton Marsalis, my classmate from Juilliard, who have made jazz very public today. But it was Clark and others, just a few others, who really founded jazz education. They invented jazz education. So he's an incredibly important person, and it's just magic. That's the best word for it. It's magic to have him with us. And he's been in residence with us 1 week last month, and then all week this month. When let me think about that a second. All week this week in April, 1 week a month. I'll fix that in the edit. We'll get that on the TV show. And when Mr. Paterno called me to play tonight, I called him back and said, well, guess what? The numbers work out, the dates work out, so April 5th is the last day of Clark Terry's residency. Why don't we bring him with us? So we did. And I hope you will give him, and we're talking about one of the great trumpet players in history, one of the great musicians in jazz history, really an American hero in my book and in a lot of people's book. He's 86 years young, going on about 35, and from the knees down, he had to call the track coach and be excused from the track team this semester. He can't do the 100-yard dash anymore, but everything, man, you just won't, as I said, the word magic is the only way I can describe it. Please welcome our special guest, the great Mr. Clark Terry.
Thank you very, very kindly, ladies and gentlemen, for being so beautiful and allowing me the chance to get out here and get situated. One day, you're all going to be in this position. if you're lucky.
Yeah, and as he said, you didn't hear it, if you're lucky. So we would like to, yeah, you can already see what it's like having, it's like being on some heavenly joyride here, having Clark with us. So we would now like to open with, as I said, Clark spent many years with Duke Ellington. We would like to play, to open one of Duke Ellington's best known pieces. And these sheets here are actually part of what we're, even as we speak, working to create the newly created Clark Terry Archive at William Patterson. This is a special arrangement of Take the A Train, written for Clark's professional band by the great Ernie Wilkins. So here's Duke Ellington's Take the A Train. Clark has requested that I announce this like the great Lawrence Welk used to. He would always announce this as, and now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like it to play Take a Train. Yeah, Lawrence never quite got it, but that's okay. Clark Terry. Take the A train. I would like to play, see, even somebody who's been playing this long, it's exciting to play new arrangements. And this is an old tune, a famous tune, The Nearness of You, but it's in a new arrangement by a young man whose name I just had to look at. He's a wonderfully talented trumpet player who's going to one of our associated institutions in New York, wonderful place called the Juilliard School, and he wrote this for Clark, this special arrangement for Clark about a month ago. Clark liked it so much, he asked if we would get it. Brandon was kind enough to send it to us, and now this is the second only performance of this arrangement, so we hope you enjoy it. The Nearness of You, featuring Clark Terry. Clark Terry. If I can inject a personal note, I mean, it's always a special night to hear Clark Terry. Why, he just played a week at the Blue Note Club in New York, and those people paid a lot more than you guys are, I'll tell you. And I've been listening to Clark play for years, and the chance to see him and hear him use, yes, that thing he's using, you may say, geez, you know, that looks a lot like a toilet plunger. Well, it is. And Clark's two main rules. Number one, always buy the plunger new. Right? Always. And number two, always remove the stick. Otherwise, the microphone keeps getting, you know. But he really is one of the masters of that art. There are so few people who can, I mean, 50 years ago, there weren't that many people who can do that. And today, yeah, you're really lucky. That's all I can tell you. We would like to proceed. Would you like to introduce Mumbles to them? We would like to proceed by introducing Professor Terry's alter ego, and that is Professor Mumbles. If you haven't met this gentleman, yeah, you'll enjoy this. This is one of Clark's, a character that first was invented on a record that he did with Oscar Peterson and has since gone on to worldwide fame. Professor Terry.
On the honey self to be she won't in lonely on the house now. She's only me but belongs to house now. She's only living to the way the people go. She's only in the bound down, the people to the level down. She's little blue to leave it on me down the day. She's playing with the sun and slide. But screaming the apple down. She was like I know the people who bummed the gas. Three bones together on the line, but see which don't the Bible on the line. She you don't leave people on the line. She don't leave them there, on the Bible on the line. She gonna the Bible down. But even see you laugh with the other. But she been on the way for the woo! She gonna be woo. She gonna be bomb. She's only moling on love about. She's only doing. She's living on love about. She's little. remember. You little it, she gon' live alone now. Be on the people live now. She go out along the line of Bethlehem. Ding on it. The fling for the hanger splange. But the finger to the hunger there, but the cuckoo skull is splooge for the family together now. But did you know that the fang of the night wouldn't know but you look at the mouth? True. I wouldn't get you. They sploon for the gun and slice. And they scared of that. But sometimes you was over like at the bodega cloud, you see. But he was only with the gun down there. One time he was only with like the apple slab. And you was over there, you remember that? Yes. You know, I forgot those. But you know what? That's true. That's true. I heard that before. I know you heard it before. I know you've heard that before many times. But it's true. Yeah. You can sing a song about it, and it's out. And if it's on the phone, if it's screaming the song, but it's screaming the habit song, you was in the hole with the screaming the slang, and the splings, but the slung is long. Now, he was falling in with the English screwing out, but the bomb of the Umbala, and the bank of but we don't go, and he comes to the hole with the hole is slung is loud, and it's loud. He was a couple of and you know what? You never believe this, but I have to tell you this privately. What? Yes? No. Oh, yes, yes. I knew you wouldn't believe it. I knew you wouldn't believe it. But anyhow, the fish ends down. And it's strong, but it's strong, but the hood is strong. You know, if I keep talking stupid like this, I might get elected to be mayor, you know?
Clark Terry. Clark Terry. The Will Patterson University Jazz Orchestra. Stand up. Wow. Professor Clark Terry. Thank you. Before we go, you've now heard 5, 6 jazz bands. When I began, yeah, you guys better get up here. You can come right up here if you want. You don't have to go out around. What? Oh, they gotta get. Yeah, they probably should get horns. When I started talking, I was talking about lineage. Well, if you don't mind waiting just a minute, one of the great jazz traditions is the jam session. And what we would like to do is let all of these young students be able to say that they had a chance to play with Clark Terry. That, you can't get better than that. I first played with Clark 25 years ago, and it's still one of the great experiences of my professional life. And now your sons and daughters get to have that experience. So what we're going to do is go for, I hope the Guinness people are here. We're going to go for the world, no, not that Guinness. Yeah, when they turn 21, ladies and gentlemen, it's a whole different teaching dynamic. But anyway, I hope the Guinness Book of World Records is here. We're going to go for most jazz musicians on stage performing C-Jam Blues. We're going to play Duke Ellington's classic tune, C-Jam Blues, and I think that means it's in C, and it's a blues, and we have a jam session. So we'll have Clark solo, we'll have some of the members of the band solo, and we'll have a little jazz party for just a few minutes. It's not a school night, right? It's perfect. Is that right? No school night, right? Okay. Give us about 2 minutes to get this mob on stage. We'll be right back. Clark has played and toured with a lot of big bands, but this redefines big band. Okay, if this sounds good enough, we're taking all of your children and putting them on a bus, and we're going to take them on the road. Okay, yeah. Next stop, Poughkeepsie. Okay, here we go. C-Jam Blues. Clark Terry and his orchestra. Clark. Thank you so much. We're going on the road, all of us. Thank you. How about a hand for everybody? The big band. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon, we hope. Thank you. It's been wonderful.